Aoife, and good afternoon, everybody. Banachtain na láfeile podrig, Díobh Galéir, a very happy St. Patrick's Day, Feliz Dia de San Patricio to you and to all IPBN.
The last day of our sustainability conference. We've had a very exciting trip through sustainability so far. We started on Tuesday with Will Wynn, who talked about implementing sustainable cities on a grand scale and a view from the US, which was really, really interesting.
When we did need more electricity, which we were going to with the population doubling, then all of our new generation was going to be renewable energy. So we were no longer going to ever again add any CO2 emissions to our fuel mix and to our delivery of energy to the fastest growing population in the entire United States.
And then in the afternoon, Sarah Miller took us through what it's like to do it at a local level and do the community project aspect, which was really actually even more interesting in some respects, because it was how did they transform a community, and it was real, very tangible.
Seeing huge changes at the moment over the past decade, but essentially in the last 5 years in relation to climate action, the circular economy, sustainability. It has become, very much supported and recognised by government, by business, through the education system. So we spent a lot of time initially trying to convince people that this was a good idea, and we don't have to do that anymore.
Yesterday, Jeffrey Graham had a really interesting interview with Barry Andrews, who was able to talk about the sustainability at a European level.
And there is a balance to be struck between, on the one hand, the openness for a global trading economy like Ireland, while also protecting our values that we've just been talking about, to try to promote a sustainability agenda, to try to promote human rights and good labour standards around the world, avoiding carbon leakage. How do we strike that balance? So the phrase that we've come up with in the trade world is open strategic autonomy.
And then we followed up with Minister of State Robert Ireland on financial services, insurance and credit unions with what they're doing at a local level in Ireland.
The only small point I will make is that in relation to climate change into the future, every other country, and we know if it's not dealt with, it will have catastrophic effects if countries don't plan and put mitigation measures in place. The only experience we have of that in Ireland to date, in my view, would be the issue in relation to flooding. And I think that's common across a number of EU countries. And the issue of insurance for flooding, I would call major flooding events a catastrophe. It might be, a geographical issue. It mightn't affect all the country. It doesn't affect all the country at any one time, but it can affect substantial amounts. And the difficulties with issues like flooding is they can reoccur. And so there are going to be a lot of issues. And I think these won't be solved in a generation.
This morning, because we're coming back to our members at the end of the day, at the last part of our conference, I'm delighted to welcome our member, Michael Naylor, to share his knowledge about private equity investing. This is obviously an area that is of interest to nearly anybody who runs a business, but at the same time, most people are very unaware of what's going on in the world of private equity, and Michael is here to share his knowledge.
For the world is basically awash with cash, right? I mean, there is unbelievable liquidity in the markets today, and particularly for private equity investing. And there are some reasons for that. And some of the reasons that are driving this depth to the investing market, some of them are new.